Welcome to MPC, not politically correct. 1280 AM, 105.3 FM, KYRO. See if I can get this right. Headbangers.com, headbangersradio.com.
Oh, wow.
There, at least I caught myself this time.
You did.
And then you can go to the Traveling East Productions.
You can.
On Rumble and watch us live there. You can see what all's going on and look for MPC on the Rumble page of Traveling East Productions. See, I'm giving you all sorts of plugs. I'm giving you all sorts of plugs.
Well, see, here's the thing. We are fortunate enough that we are we're expanding, and we're now up to 11 shows a week. So, we got a lot of places. And I've actually got some more avenues that it could be going here pretty soon. So, we'll get there. We're getting there.
Hey, some big news for Smoking Butts. We have been given the rights from Casper Broadcasting to podcast all our episodes from there when we did the What You Smoking show.
There you go.
We'll be able to put that out on our webpage and link that to some spots. So, yeah, all sorts of neat things happening. Speaking of things happening, who else fell asleep during the debate last night? That was almost a snoozer.
It was pretty bad.
Well, what was bad for me? They gave rules. Nobody would get the questions. Nobody could have earpieces. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't fact check live. Mm-hmm. Let's see. And they wouldn't interrupt moderators wouldn't interrupt the people.
Oh.
Now, I thought ABC did a horrible job. And I thought nobody can get worse than this after watching CNN kind of set a benchmark of actually doing one and being fair.
That was weird.
But CBS must have said, hold my beer and watch this. Because it was off, they started live fact checking and Vance had to call them out on it.
Yes, he did. Quite solid.
I thought Vance did a very, very fantastic job.
I thought considering it was 3 against 1, he did excellent.
Well,
actually 2.5 against 1.
Well, but Trump had 3 against 1 too, but I think Vance performed better.
Yeah,
than what Trump had done.
I think
he's a little cooler under fire than Trump is.
Well, I think he went in with the intention to do no harm.
Why?
I think to himself and Trump. I think he went in with the intent.
Well, he didn't. He definitely didn't.
He wanted to come across lovable, approachable, and I think he portrayed that.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was kind of soft myself, but.
Well, no, I think he came across for the everyday voter that thought he was going to come off as a jerk. I think he came out approachable.
Did you see the article that was talking about how they were saying that J.D. Vance's beard is him saying he hates feminism?
Yeah, I did see that.
Is that the most ridiculous thing?
It did.
I thought, well, where does that come from? So every man with a beard hates feminism? Is that what that is?
I don't know if you guys remember the 90s at all. I remember it quite vividly. Remember the feminization of the entire, you needed not to have a beard, mustache, things like that at work, or it made you look scary, blah, 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 blah.
No.
I'm sick of it. I'm going to grow out a beard, and I'm going to beat you if you talk back. Like that's kind of where I'm at with the world. I've had enough. I have absolutely had enough of your crap.
I don't remember that. I mean, at least I didn't run into it anywhere I worked.
It was pretty hardcore.
I thought that was the end of the 90s, almost 2000.
Yeah, into the 90s, into the 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. You had to get rid of facial hair and all this stuff. Yeah. I do remember it.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, I've worked for myself for so many years that I guess I just never really worried about it.
Yeah, it was a real interesting time. Yeah. By interesting, I mean horrific and terrible. Almost like the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, and pretty
much the 2020s.
Oh, yeah, they were pretty terrible, too.
Well, you know what they say about the 80s, though, man. 80s and the 90s. If you can remember them, you weren't really there.
And how about Walls? He knows a lot of school shooters.
I know.
Well, he's friends with them.
Yeah,
He's friends with a lot of
that
school shooters.
That was interesting. I really enjoyed that quote. I thought it was fantastic. I want to get a T-shirt made up that actually has his face with that at the bottom.
And every time he's asked about it, he ignores it.
You know what? If you did a T-shirt and put that on the TikTok shop, I bet you would sell more than you could get T-shirts for. I'm just throwing it to you there, buddy.
I hear you. I hear you. Because, I don't have enough to do.
Well, I mean, money's money. It's all about how bad you want it.
It's not making me any money. I just...
Well, get creative.
It's not my... I could, I guess.
The more creative you get, the more money you make.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anything else come out of the debate that you found interesting?
No, I thought the whole thing was an absolute waste of my time snooze fest.
Well, isn't that what the vice president debate's supposed to be?
It was fine, but...
Historically, the vice presidential debate's never been...
They really don't move the needle.
I mean, I still would have paid $70 to watch it as a fight.
I would have, sure.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
In one corner, we have the bearded man. In the other corner, Tampon Tim. Let's begin round one.
Okay. I don't know if he got the reference that I sent him last night and understood it, but Walls, when he would turn his head sideways and be shaking his head, he looked like Don Rickles from when he was on the Johnny Carson show.
Oh, he did.
I'm going.
I just loved how every time Vance would talk, he was just like a deer in the headlights, like back and forth between Vance and the moderators, like asking like looking at the moderators, saying,
Help.
Are you going to stop him? Are you going to fact check this? Are you going to cut his mic? What an idiot.
Well, they did finally cut Vance's mic, but that was because he was schooling them.
Yeah. That's what I noticed, and I went, wow, that was not really a good thing. But the question is, what else have we seen this week outside of the debate? Come on, Lee. There's been way better stories.
Well,
talk about these dock worker freaks.
Judge Chalkin unsealed the indictment against Trump.
There you go. See what that is? That's
33 days before an election.
Yeah, that's in the hopes of destroying him before the election.
I'm not.
But here's the thing. Here's what they don't understand. The more they pile on him, the stronger he gets. Because the more you put on him, the more the people rally behind him. They're defeating their own purpose.
Not to mention, nobody actually cares.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
The only people that care are the left.
Right.
No, left.
Yeah.
The only people that care is the left and the deep state.
That's it, man.
That's it. I mean, if you came out tomorrow and said, hey, we have a 70-count indictment against Trump because he executed 70 people, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Whatever, I'm still voting for him. I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, the White House might be at Rikers Island, but that's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me from voting for him.
Makes no difference to me at all.
Nah.
I don't think that
care.
That didn't cost him a single vote. If anything, it got him votes. That stunt.
I can't believe anyone's still listening to Jack Smith, the unestablished special prosecutor.
Oh.
I mean...
Yeah, his case in Florida, having trouble. Did you notice the New York Supreme Court? Maybe we ought to look there and what they said about the cases in Trump.
Oh, go for it. That's fantastic.
Let's see, the lady that got him for $500 million in fines.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, what was that case?
Ken.
I'm trying to remember which case that was. It wasn't the real estate.
No, that was the other case, the one where she accused him. Oh, he raped me. He touched me.
Oh, the hush money thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hush money case.
No, but not the Stormy Daniels case.
No, the other one.
Yeah.
Because this was a separate one.
Yeah. The New York Supreme Court kind of sat there and had a WTF look on their face as they were being presented to them going,
Yeah.
Why was this even brought up to trial?
Yeah.
Even, off mic moments, this should have never even gone to trial.
That's going real bad against Lita James.
Well, I like the 5 judge panel on the one that sits there and is looking at him, telling him there's no victim here, so I don't know what this is.
Yeah, that was the fraud case.
Yeah. There's no victim here.
And the judges are just sitting there, but if you don't have a victim, there can't be a crime.
Bingo.
Especially
fraud.
Especially not when your presumed victim, being the insurance company, testified in the case on Trump's behalf. Like, that's a real issue.
So did the banks.
Yeah.
And it's nothing that every real estate developer or real estate person doesn't pull. It's the same thing. You overvalue or you devalue to fit your needs for the market. That's how it's done. They all do it.
Plus, everything had the waiver in it.
Yeah.
The disclaimer saying, do your due diligence.
Yeah.
And every person...
You have every right to go and check it yourself.
And everybody who borrowed money or loaned money, all said, we'd loan it to him again.
Yeah.
So, what's that tell you?
It tells you it was all bogus in the first place to blood him
pretty
up.
much.
Well, we knew that already, so...
But don't you think that has had to take a toll on Trump? Constantly being barraged, beaten up.
I don't know. That dude's tough, man. He's got thick skin.
But he's not letting it show. You think that's got to wear on you after a while.
Nah, I don't think so. I think he's doing fine. Mentally, he's fine. He's got thick skin, man. Yeah. He don't care.
I mean, is this going to be one impeachment after another if he wins?
He's a rhinoceros.
Here, I'm going to change it when he wins.
He's a rhinoceros just bailing his way through Washington. He's just, horn down, ready to roll.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to deter him.
Oh, I think on day one, you're going to see a lot of people on the unemployment line for one thing. Because he already knows who he's got to get rid of. He knows the ones he can't trust. And Donald, I got news for you. If they're in Washington, you can't trust them.
He thought that the first time, too.
Yeah.
And they turned on him.
Yeah. Well, whoever recommended Pence knew what they were giving him.
I don't know where that came from. How did he choose Pence? I don't remember.
It wasn't because Indiana was a swing state.
No, it was not. No idea where that guy came from.
Somebody recommended him to him.
Yeah.
And he was the mole from day one.
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. He was the informant the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. From a high-level source. Well, the only high-level source that would have known everything that came out was Pence.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I think you're going to see the Joint Chiefs cleared.
I would almost guarantee it.
I think, he's going to go in there, and he's not going to give them a chance to prove themselves this time. He's just going to, the ones he's taken notes, he's been keeping record of them all along. I think there's 51 intel officials that will not have a clearance after he gets in there.
Is that all?
Oh, some of them should even be brought up on charges.
No, I wouldn't bring him up on charges.
Just lock them up in Guantanamo?
No, I wouldn't lock him up at all.
Mm-mm. I know where he's going with this, and I'm
I would
fine.
use the
and
CIA
I'm fine with
for
it.
exactly what they're meant to be used for.
Indeed.
That's the end of that.
I tend to agree.
Or I'd drop 5,000 illegals off right around their house and be like, hey, they've got lots of money and no guns. Either way, it'll take care of itself. If you let it. Which is, kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Okay, I told you something in watching the debate. There was a commercial for Colonel Kuntz or whatever he is or is that Colonel Klink?
Whatever the dude's name is.
Yeah.
He's running against Holly in Missouri. What about him?
Well, normally when you shoot a pump shotgun and open it up, isn't there normally smoke?
Typically.
Why didn't he have smoke?
It's a brand new smokeless powder and wad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, there's no recoil on them either.
Yeah, I was wondering because, I didn't see the recoil or anything.
Yeah. Smokeless powder.
And the gun apparently had to have been modified because if he wasn't actually shooting it, how was he getting it to pump open without hitting a release?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I'm asking the gun expert over here.
I'm going to be real honest. I didn't pay that much attention to it. I just thought it was another loser trying to make an ad, trying to connect with another group of people. That's all I saw.
Epic fail.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like every other time I watch losers, both Democrats and Republicans try to be relatable and connectable because they're not typically. They're rhinos looking to be reelected, backed by whatever corporate sponsor chooses to sponsor them so that they vote in a direction that they've been paid to vote. So, I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, while we're on guns,
Well,
how many guns do you own?
That's none of your business.
more than you.
Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying, you have a few, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few.
Yeah.
None of my guns have ever gotten up and shot anybody. And during the debate, Walls made a statement, we have a gun problem. And Vance was saying we have a mental health problem. I tend to think it's a mental health issue. And, you take all the guns away, they're going to find something to still commit mass murder.
I'm all right. I'm going to go down this path, and nobody likes where I'm going to go with this. Do you know why you have a mental health issue? Because you don't lock up crazy people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem. We used to institutionalize nutbags.
We took away all that.
All of it. So if you want to fix mental health, then start locking up all these whiny pansies that sit around, I want to kill myself. I'm so sad. I'm transgender.
Do you know what it is now? You get a 72-hour and that's it. They can't hold you for any longer than that.
Correct. So
I used to work at an institution, okay? I worked
So
at
you
the,
actually have been institutionalized.
No, I was not in. Well, okay. As an employee, kind of sort of felt like it. But I worked at the Wyoming State Hospital. And I tell you, they put those people in there, put them on psychotropics, and it's a done deal. You don't have to worry about them again.
yeah.
And they don't get out. But see, back in the day, this place is so old that it was one of those that actually had a pond out there. They used to have livestock. Mm-hmm. They had gardens. It was self-sufficient. The patients worked the farm.
Well, that was the first thing they changed. Then it
Yep.
was illegal to work the patients. And that was the downfall of all the institutions.
Actually, it helped them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the downfall of the institutions going to work because they came along and said, well, you can't do that to your patients.
Labor laws really screwed a lot of stuff up in a lot of ways.
You know what? You need to do away with labor laws, and you need to do away with, or you need to bring back institutions.
I would agree.
Because I know a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people that need to be institutionalized. They don't need to be out. When I worked on the ambulance in Metro,
dude,
80% of your crazy person in distress calls were homeless people that were insane.
I believe
Going around stabbing, stealing, fighting, pooping in the streets, setting fires, all kinds of stuff. There's no need for them to be out in any way, shape, or form. They do not contribute to anything except for the burden of resources. They are a pain, and they are ridiculous. And I'm tired of this, this argument, we have a mental health problem. No, you don't. You don't have a mental health problem. What you have a problem with is just saying, hey, guess what? I'm sorry, Karen. Your kid is actually a psychopath. Your kid is broken. There's nothing you can do to fix them. You can lock them up. That's about it.
Broken.
Sorry, but that's what it is. And just because, look, little Timmy's not going to get a participation award because he set everybody on fire. Okay? It's not happening. Enough. And when I listen to some twinkle toes like Tim talk about oh, well, the Second Amendment never intended. Shut up. You don't know jack about anything. You put tampons in the boys' bathroom, you friggin'
sit there
weirdo.
talking about how, well, you know, I had a shotgun in my vehicle for pheasant hunting.
Okay, well, maybe
but
you did-
society's changed. We don't need it anymore. Excuse me?
Please tell me
Aren't
what
there
has.
still pheasants?
Please tell me what has changed. The only thing that's changed is you have a bunch of psychopaths running everywhere. That's it. And I'm not giving up an ounce. You know, he went down this path of, yes, the Second Amendment is there, but we owe a greater duty to our children. No, you don't. Somebody once asked me the question while I was sitting in my gun shop. They were there arguing, doing the, well, how can you sell guns? And the lady came in. She's like, how can you sell guns knowing they kill children? And I'm like, they don't. And she's
Usually at a profit.
And she's like, well, you know, don't you feel bad about what people do with your guns? And I'm like, no, I don't. It's up to them. And then she hits with the famous line used by the Democrats. Well, how many children have to die before you would change your mind? All of them was my answer.
All of them.
Because them dying does not change the Constitution in any way. 90% of your major gun violence takes place in the inner city anyway, which I care nothing about whatsoever because you've chosen this life. And then you had last night Tim Walz talking about, well, in the rural areas, there's just a lot of suicide. So what, you don't think a kid, if he doesn't have a gun off himself, won't throw himself off a building or into a combine or off something? Stop it. Knock it off, Tim. You're an idiot. So sick of hearing that same old crap arguments over and over again from the left.
I agree.
Yeah. You know, they just want to get guns because they can't control this country as long as we're armed.
That is mildly correct.
Because there's just enough of us idiots out there that'll fight.
Yeah,
But there's also a lot. Here's the problem, too. There's a whole lot of this. There's a lot of people with guns who do a lot of this, too, that don't really...
most of them, most
don't
people,
have the intestinal fortitude to back it up.
No, most people are just losers. That's what I've discovered. Like, I sit in my gun shop and I listen to these canned hackets that go on and on a lot of times about different stuff. Most of them are just losers. That's it. That's all they can be. They have a loser's mindset, a loser mentality, and that's what they're always going to be, is a friggin' loser.
Yeah.
So, you know, what do? Well,
Sell guns.
you got to do the hard stuff. Yeah, your biggest part is you got to toughen yourself up. And all of you people that are pampering and over-pampering your children, you need to toughen those little brats up. Like, for real, because they are not going to make it when they get drafted again. They won't make it at all because they are entirely too soft. Just as
Indeed.
a case in point.
I get it.
You know, we certainly had a lot come out of that last night. Now, one of the things that I do want to hit on, because I think it's relevant, you're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, and Biden basically told all of the states that were affected by the mass flooding. I mean, pretty much East Tennessee and North Carolina in that area is toast. He gave out the number to donate because the federal government doesn't have money.
No, but we sure have money to give to...
And he won't declare it a national disaster. Now, like, call it what it is. Now, of course, you got Camilla running around saying, hey, anything you need, we're going to...
Oh, no.
We're
You didn't hear her last words.
Oh, what would she say most recently?
that it needs to be that the aid and supplies and everything needs to be distributed by class and race and everything, because those of lower need it before those of upper. It needs to be distributed by.
Does anybody think it's weird that there's no real response and the areas that got slammed predominantly hardcore conservative areas?
Oh, you're right.
Lee?
I was questioning the lack of response on all that. You know, that hurricane basically came right up through Conservativeville.
Yeah. I mean,
From Florida up.
Nobody in East Tennessee is voting with Camilla.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. They're not voting for Camilla. It makes no difference.
So if they can keep them from getting to the polls, that's just that many.
Well, the polls aren't going to exist. Think about it.
No,
You're gonna-
see, and that's what we were talking about earlier. They're not going to have there's no way that they're going to be up and running, able for people to vote.
There's
How are
no
they going
way.
to be able to vote with no power, no nothing?
No. There's no possible way.
This hurricane couldn't have happened at a better time
for the Democrats.
for the Democrats.
No, not at all. Very weird. Now, I did very much like the... would it take less than 24 hours for tractor trailer loads full of Starlinks to show up?
Fair.
And then you had Elon release his, hey, I'm really sorry that it's doing the thing where it tells you that you have to sign up and enter a credit card and all that. Boom, that'll all be done by the end of the day. Software update.
Done.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
You know.
Elon to the rescue.
Elon and Starlink could help them get their votes up. That may be some of his driving factor.
I think his driving factor is Trump asked him to. And then Trump made a very valid statement. If you need something taken care of, Elon will make it happen. Well, he made it happen, like with quickness.
You know, it's funny. You're almost getting to a point where there's one person in this world to take on Soros, and I believe it's Elon.
That's the only, that's pretty much the only
Like, that is the nemesis. That's your Batman and Joker right there.
Yeah.
Well,
2 billionaires going after each other. Wow, this is a great story.
yeah, but one's brilliant and one isn't.
No, but one controls the entire justice system.
Yeah.
Not the entire, but a big chunk of it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the entire.
It's
At least on that level.
Yeah.
One has the justice system, and
The other has technology.
yeah, he's Batman. He's more like Iron Man.
Yeah.
I'll
I'd put
give
him
you
there.
that
I like the reference.
Yeah.
I'd go there.
Yeah.
Weird.
He's the Tony Stark. I got it. Yep. I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's weird stuff. I just watching some of the stuff that is going on in that region is kind of unbelievable. You know that there is still hundreds of square miles of absolutely no internet, cell, or power. Like totally out. And then we have all this going on, and let's get into the dock workers. Now, the president of the dock workers, or whatever they call themselves, long johners, I don't care.
Longshoreman.
Whatever. He was under indictment for a RICO case. The co-defendant in the case magically disappeared and ended up dead in the trunk of a car.
Crazy, right?
Right. Now,
Did he know Jimmy?
just another union thug. Anyway, but then we go a step further, and he talks about how, look, you give us what we want or we will cripple America. I'm going to be real honest. I would declare that an act of terrorism. I would immediately imprison him. When the dock workers don't go back to work, everybody goes to jail.
That
You have your
statement right
options.
there. That statement right there is threatening your government and your country. That is treason alone, right there in that statement. That is threat. That is a threat of treason right there.
But it's even more than that because he actually has the means.
And then actually did it.
Right. Because it's more than just a randomized threat. It is actually having the ability to do it. There's one at $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Now they don't have jobs because their entire McDonald's has got automated. Well, good for you. Go get in the unemployment line.
That's what you get.
I think it is absolutely absurd. Just, kind of my take on the whole thing.
Well, let's see. What else was there?
Well, there's hundreds of things. What have you been doing all week?
Working, unfortunately.
Oh, why would you do that?
Harvest season.
Well, come on now.
What do you do during harvest season?
I keep the farm running for a farmer.
You mean you fix all the broken stuff?
I do keep all the dryers and stuff running. And
Well, since you didn't have anything to say, I guess I'm going to bring up another topic.
Uh-oh.
Your clone, doppelganger even, Adam Schiff, look at him. He looks just like you.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
No.
he really does.
No.
He
You
really
put a hat
does.
on him, he's you. Anyway, Adam Schiff called out for trying to bully tech companies into censoring Americans ahead of the election. So, once again, Adam Schiff, former member and disgraced member of the January 6th committee, has brought out his old playbook and is demanding online censorship of, quote, misinformation. The one member of Congress is taking the initiative in front of the Democratic Republican Adam Schiff of California. On Tuesday, Schiff posted a news release on his website saying he demands answers for the social media platforms and how they plan to address the spread of misinformation and potential incitement of violence on their platforms in a lead up to the 2024 elections.
I've got a solution. I know how you can do it.
How?
You block every Democrat from being on social media.
Oh.
And that's how you stop the spread of misinformation. Boom.
That might work. I mean, who does seem to put out
we
the
can
most
play by their rules too.
Who puts out the most misinformation?
Well,
The government.
The government.
Let's see. Hunter Biden's laptop. That was a lie. None of it ever happened, right? Oh wait, wrong. 51 intelligence officers. That was a lie. Wrong. Hillary Clinton. The Russian misinformation that led to Trump winning. Oh, Hillary Clinton, Thompson, Russian asset. Yeah.
It's always something. Oh, Trump, and also, was it Trump is racist
Yes.
and a dictator, and he plans on being emperor and dictator, and there's just all kinds of junk.
Well, that would be misinformation. Who put that out?
Democrats.
Oh, okay. Say. I think CT's onto something. Let's just ban all the Democrats from getting on social media. Then they don't get their feelings hurt.
Well, you know what? Along with that, did you see the article on the dude from the WHO?
Oh, no. Please tell us about that.
Oh, now he says that we need to control cell phone usage. We need to monitor that and limit it.
Oh.
Like they're doing.
And we have to have cell-free zones, and you can only use certain functions in certain areas in certain amount of times, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah.
Is that kind of like what they're doing in Tennessee and Georgia right now?
Well, my point is this. First of all, what does that have to do with health? So why is the WHO director or whatever even opening his mouth?
Well, you know.
Well, why is the UN trying to get us to go to digital currency and all this
Well,
other
you know
stuff?
the answer to that. I don't even know why you're asking.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's all about control.
Without a doubt. And
See-
it's one of those that makes you go, wait, what's going on here? And that one really, really holds a lot. Just different ones from the WHO, from the UN, from NATO, et cetera, et cetera. These are all things that the U.S. does not need. So why? Why do we care?
Well, we don't need the WHO.
No.
We don't need the World WEO, World
NIL, we don't need none of those.
WEF, World Economic Forum.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need them. We'd see who else, all we got to do is withdraw from them and they'll fail.
Without a doubt.
I mean, the UN will not survive without the United States.
Well,
No.
it really won't survive when you tell them that their building is done.
Just look at the League of Nations when the United States withdrew from it. Congress took us out of that against Woodrow Wilson's.
Yeah, because he was the first hardcore globalist. Did you see that an entire group of illegal aliens has been arrested in Tennessee after they started just going through and looting nonstop in the disaster-filled areas? Thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, what about all the gangbangers arrested down in Texas?
Oh, yes.
I mean, Abbott's had enough.
Abbott has absolutely had enough. So let's shift to our international look. Hezbollah and Iran.
Yeah.
Words out, boys. What you got?
Here we go.
The exploding pagers and exploding telephones and everything. I don't know how they're doing it, but that is neat.
Well,
Somebody has figured something out.
no.
Well, what it is now is you have Iran firing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you the really short version. Are you ready, Lee?
Yeah.
So, the Israelis bought a company that makes pagers. They then sold them to companies. They disguised it as a non-Israeli company, and then they got an order from Iran. That order that came from Iran and where they were to be delivered was Gaza. Those pagers were equipped with Semtex in them. They then took the ICOM radios, they made their own radio system, did an ICOM clone so it looks like an ICOM radio, and then when they got an order from the whoever they were pretending to be, which was the Defensive Forces of Palestine or something like that was the name of it, they then sold them all these ICOM radios, which were also loaded down with Semtex, and they weren't real ICOM radios. But all of these things, the pagers and the radios, all functioned and worked just fine. They then sent out a mass code to detonate different versions of them. That's how that was done. It's not that crazy if you just... They're not blowing up regular pagers. They're blowing up their pagers, which have an explosive charge in them, which was fantastic. Then, most coordinated surgical strike in history, without a doubt. Then we fast forward a little bit, and we have the Israelis. Then they took out some super leader of Hamas, or one of those terror agencies. Then Iran decided to get involved, and they fired 200 nearly ballistic missiles at Israel. A lot of them were shot down. Some of them did make it through the dome, which is weird. I don't know if you guys... So, the dome is laser radar guided, right? Which means some of the missiles had stealth tech on them. Which means they came from China. That tech comes from China. By way of it being stolen from the United States. Those are the ones that the battle group that we have sitting there in the Gulf shot down, because they shot down around 20 undisclosed The Deer F-22 finally got itself its interceptions it was looking for because it can shoot down the cloaked missiles. And now the 82nd Airborne has been deployed to that battle group from the U.S., and Israel is pushing into Lebanon. I predict the leader, the Grand Supreme Ayatollah of Iran, is dead within the month because they are going to blow the crap out of Tehran. The U.S. has advised Israel not to target any of the Iranian nuclear facilities. Iran doesn't have a nuke yet. The only way they can get one is through having nuclear facilities. The Israelis are going to blow their nuclear facilities off the face of the map, without a doubt, within the next few days.
Friday, the Supreme Ayatollah is going to be in Tehran leading prayers.
Perfect.
I was thinking he wouldn't survive Friday.
I would say the likelihood's pretty low. Because even though Iran has they have a version of an interceptor system, I seriously doubt they can intercept the Israeli missiles, or very many of them. Because if they could, they probably would have intercepted the ones that were on their way to Lebanon, where they blew up the massive stockpile of explosives and ammo. Now, there's been a whole bunch of people that are going, how could this happen? Well, it's pretty simple. Iran was broke. The Biden and Obama administration made them rich. They then took their money and the trickle-down economics, then made its way to Hezbollah and to the Houthis and these other groups, which they supplied funding, personnel, and weapons to. And now they're getting leveled. I see no problem here. Go for it. Level it.
You know, they could take Iran and just about make it glass.
I'm pretty sure the purpose of hitting Iran, and this is one that Netanyahu has talked about pretty heavy, is to remove the leadership of Iran, because the people of Iran actually don't have much of a problem with the nation of Israel. They've now mentioned it in every major uprising they've had in Iran. Every single time. Remember when they had the riots relating to the hijabs and all of that stuff? If you take out the Ayatollah, you eliminate the entire government of Iran, I think you will be just fine for that whole region.
Well, you'd have to get the Ayatollah in his council. That's about 12, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can carry that out, then you're going to be just fine.
You know, I'm not real familiar with the Quran, but something about 12 in there.
I have no idea. Don't actually care.
Yeah.
Blast
Just get
them. Of course, big thank you to our sponsor, Safe Harbor Insurance, right here in Winfield. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at Safe Harbor Insurance Winfield. You give them a call at 636-578-7426. They can insure anything you have, boats, cars, houses, radio stations, cars, barbecue restaurants, whatever. They will be happy to insure it. They have some of the best prices around because they are brokers. They don't depend on one place or another. They can go to many, many places. Check them out, Safe Harbor Insurance Winfield. When you get done, I want you to come down and come see me at Black Flag Outfitters and see what's going on down there. We've been getting lots of used stuff in. If you want to come in, buy some new stuff, order some stuff, I'm sure we can get that going for you and get you set with some good stuff. All bow fishing and fishing equipment is on sale right now because it's kind of the end of the season. So you can get a pretty good discount if you want to get into a new bow fishing rig or anything like that. That's going on. And then, of course, coming up here in a few minutes, we will have our food section, which, of course, is brought to you each and every week by SmokinButtsBBQ.com. Smokin' Butts BBQ, if you've never tried their sauces or seasoning rubs, you really need to get out there and try them. They are gluten-free, never any MSG, no high fructose corn syrup ever. It is the very best sauces and rubs that money can buy. You won't be disappointed no matter if you put them on chicken, steak, seafood, or vegetables, corn, rice, potatoes. You will have a fantastic time and really enjoy it. Get yourself some now. Order it at SmokinButtsBBQ.com.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
CT had a nice looking steak on there.
Yes, he did. That was fantastic looking. Really, 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 really had some good color, some good flavor. How was it?
Delicious. And you know, and that was one of the crap steaks. That wasn't even a. That was one of the. I forget what you call it.
Meat.
It's just meat, but
There you go.
but yeah, I rubbed her down with olive oil and Smoking Butts steak and prime rib, and do it in the air fryer on 400 for about 10 minutes, and fried. Oh, I fried up some potatoes in bacon grease and some onion, and then had some pinto and black beans in a red enchilada sauce, and just sprinkled some Mexican shredded cheese over the top and called it a meal.
Ah, very nicely done, sir. It did indeed look really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, as you guys know, the election is coming up. And what does that mean, gentlemen?
Election night coverage.
Election night coverage. So, if you would like to be a sponsor of election night coverage, then you need to get a hold of me or CT or message the page. You can also send us an email at info@travelingeastproductions.com, and we can get you all set up. It is our biggest night ever. Every time. Thousands of viewers, thousands of listeners, big time, low cost to you, high advertising value. So if you want to get in, be a sponsor, you got to let us know. The spots are filling up rather quickly, and if you want to be in on this, then you've got to get with us. Election night is going to be a big kickoff. What time are we starting, dude?
You and I will begin at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
At 5 o'clock, we'll take a little break. The stream will continue
And
through the hour.
those guys will join Newswatch.
We will, yeah. And then they'll be doing their Newswatch thing from 5 to 6. And then from 6 o'clock, a few minutes after 6, really 6:06, somewhere around in there, KYRO will be joining us, and we'll be going back and forth. Us over here at Traveling East Productions will be going over the national level stuff with you, and then we'll send it over to KYRO, and they will be talking with you about the state and local.
There's a lot of both national and state and local. You've got constitutional amendments from Missouri. You have got a ton of different races. You've got the Missouri Supreme Court. They're going to be up there. There's some people that definitely need to go that are on the Missouri Supreme Court. So it actually matters. You might want to do a little research, find out about these people. But for you, the biggest part is you got to get on and play with us, because the amount of people that are going to hear your advertising, which is really just probably going to be me stating your commercial over and over and over again, it's totally worth it. Right, Smoking Butts BBQ?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Speaking of the election,
Yes.
of all the amendments, I haven't found one I want to vote for.
No, none of them are good at all.
And I heard something today I wasn't aware in this. Our state was set up this ways. Did any of you know that some counties, when it comes to voting for judges, are non-party?
No.
And, you know, they're saying that's just a fair way to do it. Well, the whole idea is making a judge declare his party is so you know which way he leans.
Correct.
And I did not realize that was an option in a state, that a county could vote to go non-political on judges.
Well, that's ridiculous. Where is that?
There's 3 or 4 counties doing it now.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably. I wonder if that's the ultra conservative St. Louis County. Probably not.
Maybe Jackson County.
There's no telling. But it should be interesting to see what happens. Some people have their ideas, and some people are going to be very disappointed.
Some people have their ideas, and some people are wrong.
But, you get in your superior court judges that we get to vote on. You don't have a party affiliation with them.
No, you don't. Which means you have to look up their voting record to find out who they are. Big time.
Yeah, because if you listen to the state bar, they never tell you should vote a judge off.
Yeah.
Which, I find that odd that they never take sides on that. They just, this judge is good. Almost every judge has made a decision or two that wasn't good.
Yes.
But some judges make it all the time.
Yes. Without any doubt whatsoever.
But can you imagine voting for a judge in your county and not knowing what party he's tied to?
No, I can't. But that will certainly be something that we find out on election night. There will be a lot of different things on the ballot, different judges and seats and things of that nature. So definitely be sure to tune in, listen to us. And if you want to get on as a sponsor, you probably need to do that with the quickness, because these spots are only so many, and then they will fill up, and then there's no more spots. So you got to jump on. What else you got there, Lee? We're just about down to the end.
Well, that was just something I had heard, and I found that interesting. But, gosh, I really don't have anything else.
Wow. CT, what else have you seen this week that just makes your brain blow?
I did see an article real quick in the Lincoln County Journal.
Oh, yeah? What you got?
It was just for something local. Apparently, the county has decided to freeze property tax, I think it was, on seniors.
Oh.
Well, that's nice.
I didn't get to read the whole article, so I don't know exactly the whole story on it. I just kind of glanced at it while I was at work and didn't have time. But, yeah, something like that. Not really sure.
Interesting.
You got about a little over a minute left.
Well, that's certainly an interesting one. If they wanted to actually do something productive, then they would, seriously fix property tax for all people.
There is that.
Without a doubt. I am absolutely tired of paying for the indoctrination camps that you people refer to as schools. The only thing they produce is absolute idiots that can barely function in life whatsoever. The more I'm around them, the more I dislike them, because most of them are actually dumb and have no sense of anything real in the world whatsoever. So if you want me to pay to continue cranking out idiots, I'm kind of done with that. At that, if you want to join us anywhere else, please feel free to. Remember, find us on Rumble, Traveling East Productions. Find us on the Facebook channel at Traveling East Productions. Join CT and I Saturday morning for Morning Java. CT, give it to them.
Stay awake, not woke. And we'll see you next Wednesday right here on Not Politically Correct. All right, they're gone, but we're still going.
Yeah.
Just in case you wanted to, continue on with something.
Yeah, it's time to hear Gordon Ramsay over here tell us what he cooked.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on.
Well, I'm going to give out something I've never given out before.
Your phone number on a bathroom wall?
No.
I've given that out.
So have I.
For him.
Yeah.
For a good time, not picky, call.
Call. Hey. What's the restaurant down there? What's it called?
Terramino's.
Call Terramino's. Just ask for Lee. He'll be there at the bar.
Don't you worry about it. He'll take care of you. He really likes tractor wrap.
Third stool down from the left. No. Go ahead, Lee. What do you got?
Well, I was going to give out my recipe for baked beans.
Let's hear it.
because I had some baked beans I just was not impressed with this weekend. CT has informed me they didn't come from where they said they did, so I'm going to take him for his word.
No way in hell.
We'll tell you what they claimed afterwards. But
Tell us about these baked beans.
well, what I start off with, because when I make baked beans, I make baked beans. I normally take a number 10 can. So this recipe's for that, what looks like a gallon can of beans. I go buy me a nice can of pork and beans. But you got to you may have to go through a couple brands before you find just the right ones. Because if they're already soft, they're not good. You got to find the ones that are still kind of firm. Used to be a brand you could buy them. I can't even find them anymore, but I found them at GFS, and it's pretty much the same ones. Allen Food has a good one. But you're going to take your baked beans. I open up the can. I throw it in the colander, and I turn the sink on with the spray on, and I wash all the juice off. I want just the beans.
Okay.
You with me so far?
So far.
Now, I'll let them drain. I pick out the chunks of back fat and everything that's in there. I get rid of it. Now I'm going to put them over in a bowl. To that bowl, I add 1 cup of ketchup, 2 cups of Smokin' Butts original barbecue sauce.
Okay.
And CT's sitting there wondering why I wash all this off. I want the beans so they've been cooked.
No, that's not. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay. Now, the next thing I add to that is it's actually a cup of brown sugar, but I'll do it in 3/3 cups because I don't want one big clump of sugar that I got to get broke up in amongst this and stir it. Now, I'm going to take a medium onion, a sweet onion, probably a yellow, if I can get it, or a Valdez is even better. And I'm going to dice that into a fine dice, and that goes in there. I'm going to take 5, it's just it, the onion. That's pretty much it. And then I will take and add about 2 tablespoons of sweet heat to it. And it has just a little bit of bite to it. It's nothing overpowering. And sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll put a little bit of mustard, a couple tablespoons of mustard. Doesn't take much mustard.
Yellow, spicy,
Yeah.
Dijon, what do you add?
It's what I will never use Dijon in this. It'll either be yellow or spicy.
Okay.
And it just depends on the mood I'm in. And if I'm doing this for a group of people, I probably won't put the mustard in.
Okay.
But I kind of like a little bit of mustard. It's my personal thing. I like a little bit of that mustard. It just gives it a little fullness to the flavor.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you just put it in the oven and bake it.
I think
Or
the
put it on
recipe
the
sounds
smoker.
fine.
What?
I only have one question.
Yeah.
Why would you go through all the trouble of a can of beans to rinse it and go through all that stuff and fire all that off and pull it all out, rinse it all out and everything? Why don't you just boil your own freaking beans?
Just boil some pinto beans?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take the time to boil the pinto beans. I can do this quicker.
It'll be better.
You will be able to control your texture. I guarantee you that. But you do keep some of that flavor when you bite that bean. There is still some of that pork and beans flavor left in it because you don't wash it all out. Some of that actually soaks in.
Yeah.
But I totally see where you're going with.
I just can't get with you on that one.
I can see where you're going with washing out or cooking your own beans. I totally get that.
Okay.
It's just a time issue.
Yeah, okay. If you're in a hurry, okay.
Yeah.
But you're still taking quite a bit of time to wash them.
Not really. You're doing other stuff.
Are you putting any kind of bacon or anything in there for?
What I will do is whatever I'm grilling or smoking, I will, like if I'm doing pulled pork, I'm going to add pulled pork to it.
You know what's good?
If I'm doing brisket, I'm going to have brisket in it.
Okay. You know what's good in it?
What?
Oxtail.
I can see that. If I'm doing bratwurst, I will skin a bratwurst and crumble it up in there. in the beans.
I would not have a problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I do. But whatever my meat is what's going to be in the beans.
I've put andouille in it before.
Well, if I was serving this with a Cajun meal, I definitely
Sure.
would.
But I
Fair.
also throw peppers in too.
Yeah. Well, I would have bell peppers in it if it was going Cajun.
I would do it with anything.
Yeah. And I have done that. I just didn't have them today, but you got to be careful with peppers because so many people don't like the taste of what the bell
more
pepper
for me.
does to the beans.
I
More for
hate
me.
green peppers.
Yeah.
I like all the other peppers.
I like
the.
the
You know,
red,
that's something
yellow.
that's weird. For me, I don't taste the difference in the colors.
Oh, I do. Red is the sweetest. Orange and yellow are pretty much a tie, just a little less sweet. But green is just bitter.
See, I don't get that.
Can't stand green
There's
peppers.
just no sweetness to it at all.
I had some really good homegrown tomatoes today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were brought to me at work.
Nice.
And I've, been eating like ham and cheese sandwiches at work, tons of mayonnaise. And they brought these, they're like, oh, you want these tomatoes? And all I kept thinking was, fresh tomatoes on a ham and cheese sandwich?
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Let me tell you something.
Let me have some yellow bag
A
lace
fresh
with that.
tomato that isn't refrigerated, nice and room temperature, is so juicy. And you throw that on that, and your bread just gets all, and it's just the mayonnaise and the Dukes, of course, and you got the ham and the cheese, and you're just, and, oh, it's so good. A little salt and pepper, is that's all it needed.
I like it.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I love homegrown tomatoes, man. Give me a homegrown tomato, and I will devour that sucker.
Yeah.
There was a lady setting up where they do the farmer's market next to Heckler's Hearth
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the
the other
corner?
day. Yeah, on the corner. Mm-hmm. $5 for $1.
When was this?
2 days ago.
There used to be a guy that sat there and sold peaches and stuff. Remember him?
Yeah, he comes in, usually I think he's in Troy on Thursdays, Hawk Point's on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
this is just a lady sitting out there Tuesday, had a big box of tomatoes there, $5 for $1.
Man, I'll take.
So you may want to watch that periodically, and you may be able to pick
I
up
will.
some.
When's that usually on a?
Well, I saw her on Tuesday.
Well, I'm usually at work, so
Yeah, but
I don't get to run around like you
I don't know when she's going to
Some
be
of us have
there.
to work for a living, Lee.
Well, some of us have jobs that let us have a little freedom.
I used to have one of those.
Now you have no freedom.
Now I have no freedom. Yeah.
Interesting.
I made more money back then, too, when I hustled it.
That's weird.
Yeah, COVID shut me down.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, that was the whole point of COVID, wasn't it? To wreck the economy?
It worked.
Oh, you mean kind of like the shipping strike, which is about to finish it off? This should be fascinating to watch what happens next. I already bought a pallet of toilet paper just so I can triple the price on it.
Attaboy.
I'm so excited. I'm going to really screw some people for butt tickets. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I couldn't care less really on it. I think.
Well, no, but Karens have to have
Oh,
the
they do.
toilet paper they like, and they will pay $10 a roll for it.
Oh, they will. They will.
I remember COVID. I made a lot of money on bullets and on toilet paper. So much money. It was unreal. I remember I sold an 8-pack of Charmin for $100. It was fantastic.
Who the hell's going to pay $100? Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It was insane, but Karen had to have her special toilet paper.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, then.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know we imported toilet paper.
Yes.
I
Massive.
thought that all came out of Arkansas.
Textiles and everything. We don't do anything anymore.
We collect welfare.
And that's what Trump says we got to get back to doing, and I
Well,
agree.
one of the things that's posted, I think you posted it too, was this whole thing about, well, if it was made in the United States, we wouldn't be having this. I don't remember the exact meme, but this port thing. It was about the port thing, about it being manufactured or being done. And my thought on that is, you'd still have the same problem. You're still dealing with unions, so what's the difference? Other than the products made here, you still got union problems.
But at least we have it here.
Okay. But the bastards still want to go on strike every 2 weeks. because they want more money out of you. Because how dare you, the owner of that company who worked your ass off to build that company, make $1? How dare you and not give it to them? How dare you profit? You capitalist pig.
Pretty much.
Has anybody ever stepped back and looked at the structure of a union and everything? It's pretty much communism.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Well, it's pretty much communism. The ones at the top get all the money,
Yeah.
and the others pay to be a member of this club.
Yep.
But don't really get anything.
Yeah. That bad, huh?
Man. Wow.
Dodd, what'd you cook this week? Anything?
I cooked a filet with baked potatoes. It wasn't anything real exciting. It was a great filet. I marinated my filet in a red balsamic. And then encrusted it with Parmesan cheese and dehydrated butter.
See, that's one thing I got to get is some dehydrated butter. I don't have any.
I cooked it. I did a baked potato, roasted it in fire, so the outside was crispy. And I served it as a loaded baked potato with, all the good stuff, the sour cream, the green onions, all of that, along with some Tennessee pulled pork I had. And then I had a very fantastic filet with it that turned out very nice after it soaked.
You're addicted to balsamic.
Huh?
You're addicted to balsamic.
It works very well. I grilled it for about 4 minutes. And then it was a bacon wrapped one, which isn't always my favorite, but then I took that and I shoved it in the air fryer for 5 minutes, which was enough time to crisp the bacon. Pulled it out, served it with the potato. It was fantastic. It was really good. The Parmesan and the dehydrated butter really crisped up nice and almost gave it, I wouldn't call it like a bread coating, but it gave it this solid coat on the outside when you cut through it. Those flavors just burst. I also used a little bit of, what is that? Steak and prime rib on it instead of just using salt and pepper.
I'm out.
I have some in the car for you.
Yeah, it's my boy.
I forgot to bring it in with me. Now, here's something I want both of you to try.
Okay.
Since you got on this thing, you'll both like fresh tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Get you some fresh tomatoes. Slice them up, just standard, like you're going to put them on your plate and eat them. I want you to take a cup of white wine vinegar, cup of balsamic vinegar, mix them together.
Okay.
Add a half cup olive oil to that. Put your tomatoes in it. Let them marinate in it. And sprinkle and add a little oregano, ground oregano to that.
Yeah.
And try that. Since you like balsamic,
I'm not opposed to that at all.
this will knock your socks off.
Can I put some feta in the jar?
I guess you could.
Yeah. I'm digging that. Hey, how do you make the...
I tell you what, you could add to it.
What's that?
is,
Some red pepper flakes.
Fresh mozzarella.
That'd be good.
Some red pepper flakes.
Well, I'm just giving you the basic recipe.
Yeah.
You can.
I know, but my mind keeps going. Hey,
I like a little Italian seasoning personally.
Okay, I could go with that too.
I have a ridiculous amount of cucumbers.
I bet you do.
How do I do the refrigerator pickles? I cannot do those. I keep jacking it up. What do I do?
You bring your brine to a boil.
Yeah.
Pour it in your jar. Screw the lid on it. Stick it. Let it cool down below 100. Stick it in the refrigerator.
There's my problem because I was using cold vinegar. Thank you.
Because it won't take the crunch out of it. But the brine has to be hot for everything to meld together.
Okay.
That makes sense now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does actually. The temperature, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because as it cools, it'll crisp it.
Yeah, because you're putting it in a cold jar,
Yeah,
and you want your pickles cold when you pour that over it.
yeah.
You don't want them room temperature. You don't want them sitting out.
Are you slicing or are you just doing spears?
I was just doing spears.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I like to take them and run them through a waffle cutter.
Yes, I do like that.
And
Oh, the thin or the
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
chips.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And the reason I like not short ways. I like it
yeah, long ways.
like on a cheese cutter or something. You know, just
Yeah.
taking. And I like those because man, you can lay those on a sandwich or a burger.
But I want that waffle edge in there because it just
That does, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm with you.
you got more surface for the flavor.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good. I like it.
I can dig that. Cool.
Yeah, I have a Weston mandolin. It's got the waffle blade in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Gotcha.
I have that waffle blade that goes on my KitchenAid.
Yeah.
It does pretty well on that. Just
Yeah, but you can't get them long ways.
That's true. I've never actually thought about that. Valid. Fair enough.
Well,
See, now you got me on the whole. Now I'm thinking about some pickles.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
They're easy to make. I just couldn't figure out what I was screwing up. I'm like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Well, there's what it is. Because when I make pickle juice, like for the pickle on their own stuff, that's all cold pressed pickle juice. So for me, I'm like, this should be easy. And I'm like, why? Why is this not turning out right? But, I have a 6-week brew time on a batch of pickle juice. That's how long it takes for it to cold brew. But that makes so much more sense for the pickles.
Your refrigerator pickles are good in a week. And they'll
Perfect.
last 6 to 8 weeks in the refrigerator. If you do it that way.
Perfect. That's what I need. Thank you, Lee.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
That, I believe,
I think
wraps
I'm
up
done.
our Smokin' Butts BBQ.com section. We appreciate you guys so much for joining us. We will see you on the flip side. CT. Send them.
Stay away. Not woke.